Hello everybody, it's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. Guys, we're out here today. This is our old-fashioned multiplying onion bed. We dug up this end of it, put it up on Etsy, and sold what we could off of them. And we still have the remainder of the bed to go here, but it's time to amend this bed before we replant all this stuff. Now today we're going to be pulling up all the onions out of here. We're going to be amending the soil because onions are very heavy nitrogen feeders. You can go put all this organic nitrogen in there that you want. It's not going to work for onions. Onions need it, and they need it fast. Organic nitrogen or any organic fertilizer, let me put it that way, you only get about 8% of it up front. And over the next 3 to 4 months, it breaks down to where you just get a little bit along, and onions cannot function that way. Onions has got to have nitrogen instantly, and they got to have it every day. So we'll be using our triple 13 fertilize. It's just regular commercial fertilize because onions have got to have that boost. And then probably once every 2 weeks I'll come in here with Miracle Grow and I'll just pour it to it, and they should just blow out of the water and get ready for this fall so that we got plenty of onions for this fall. But the first thing, guys, we got to get the onions out of here. Secondly, this is our secret weapon right here. When we clear our land or cut the brush down around our property, trim our trees, whatever, we don't burn the limbs. We don't throw them out and haul them off, all that kind of stuff. We put them in the woods in a pile, and we create brush piles. In our deep south, the brush piles rot down within a year. Even when we butcher our chickens or anything like that, we take all of our animal parts and go put them in the brush pile, let it all rot down together, and when we do it, you'll come out, you see like this right here? That's a bone. From what animal? I don't know right now. But inside this dirt is going to be rotted bones, rotted feathers, rotted hides from animals, internal parts, limbs. I mean, anything we cut off our place, brought to these piles and piled up, and in a year they rot down and they make this right here. We call this liquid gold because it's got everything in it that we need. And I imagine when I start digging in it, we're going to have pieces like these roots and stuff like this. We'll throw all that out to the side. And then when we get through, we'll put it all back in the bucket, take it back over there, and dump it right back in the trash piles. And let it continue to rot down. So, now, it's time for us to get these onions out of here. She done stuck 3 down here on this end. When she was thinning some of them out the other day. And they're already kicking it and starting to grow. So we got to get these out of here. As you can see, each one of these systems right here was one individual onion we stuck in the ground. And I want you to look at this. Look at them now. Now this is not nesting onions or anything like this. This is the old-fashioned bunching onions. And look how many of them is in that group right there. Now when we break these apart and plant them individually, these things are going to flourish into big old giant onions. Now these have already died back. And they're at the point now where they're fixing to start coming back out. It's time to replant these. July is usually the time of the year we do this. And guys, there's going to be a pile of onions here. I'm going to tell you that. We're going to have enough here to replant this bed and possibly plant some more so that we have an ample supply for the future. This is all the dead stuff. I'm going to pull that off of there because all the new stuff's coming back out, and I'll shake it off in the bed here. Yeah, that's looking good. Now, a lot of y'all, when you got onions from us, these multiplying onions, you didn't get the sets like this, you got the bulbs. Well, there was a reason for that because when Miss Wanda pulled them up, the plants had all died, and they were just all bulbs. And you'll find when we dig along here, somewhere along the line, we're probably going to find these bulbs. Because they do make a small, let me get down here where I can sit down. They do make a small bulb. Now this one here, we didn't hadn't got to yet. Let me get all the old scapes and all that out of there. See if we can break this thing apart a little bit here. Get some of this debris out of it. This was one onion, guys, stuck in the ground. Now when Ms. Wanda sent them off, you probably got this right here because this wasn't on it. And that's, you can see them in here, they're everywhere. See, this is the kind of bulbs they make. Like that right there. And all you do is you just break off one of them like that and you just plant it back. And in a year's time, you'll have bigger clumps than this. I mean, it's just amazing. Now, we've been through a bad drought here and heat, and these things are still, I'm talking about just kicking it. Well, guys, we've got all the onions pulled here. Got them laid out. We got to do some separating on them to get them planted. We've fertilized the bed heavy over here. We've added the dirt in it. We've flipped it with a shovel. Now we're taking a rake and raking it out. We've had a life-changing event. I was going to sit down here to work and my knee went out on me again. And I'm in extreme pain right now, but we got to finish, you know. And I told Wanda, I said, if you can rake this out, I'll try to get the bulbs and sit down and try to start getting them in the ground here. But guys, my knee was doing so good. It's been months. I've had no problem. I've been up and down ladders. I've been on my knees in the garden working everything, and I came around here to sit down on the edge of this, and somehow or other my leg just didn't hold me and it tore again. So I hope I'm not back to square one where I was, but we'll see. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But this is what we talk about on a farm. When you have these type of life-changing events take place, it handicaps you. And, you know, you got to start learning how to redo everything and do it all over again. And it is a little frustrating because we thought we were doing so well and things had healed up really good, we thought. Evidently not. So we're just trusting the Lord to get us through this, guys. We're going to try to see if we can't get these onions planted and just keep moving forward with our homestead. So if Ms. Wanda can get this raked out, I'm going to try to get some onions and try to get them start setting them in the ground. As Wanda rakes it down, you know, any trash we have or any big old dirt clods. Because guys, it is dry. This dirt is not wet by no means. We'll go through here and we'll get out of dirt clods and sticks and everything, and we'll try to get all this kind of scattered around, leveled up as good as we can. Get any pieces of old rotten wood out of here that don't need to be in here, and put it back in the bucket of the tractor. See if we can get it hauled back off. And as you can see, there's still roots and everything. And then once we get through with this, we're gonna have to literally soak the fool out of this bed, because guys, I'm gonna tell you, even though it's a little damp right now, it's just still, I mean, you can see it's not wet by no means. So, and onions need lots of water to get going, especially in this heat we're having. So Miss Wanda's gonna continue, and I've got my onions. She laid me out a bunch right here for me to start working with, and I'm gonna start planting them in rows down through here and seeing if I can get this thing laid out where it's nice and good looking here, because we got to get this done today. You don't want them too deep, but you don't want them right on top of the ground either. These are not like bulbing onions. These don't have to be like a ½ inch deep or something. No, they need to be, the whole bulb needs to be under the ground. You need to leave about, I leave like a hand width in between them, which is about 6 to 8 inches, because these are going to multiply out and make big clumps. I'll get to them in just a minute. And if you got bulbs from us that look like this right here, you do the same thing, guys. You just stick them in the ground. Where they just barely under the surface of the dirt like that. And you cover them back up, and then a couple of days they'll be sprouted out, ready to roll. The great thing about these types of onions, these multiplying onions, is that they can be grown in a variety of different ways. You can grow them in 5-gallon buckets. You can grow them in containers of any kind, raised bed. Well, this is a raised bed. You can grow them just a multitude of different ways. You can actually just grow them in a little small vessel, because as long as you keep the water and the food to them, guys, these things will just, they'll Cadillac. I mean, these things are very resilient. Guys, this is also classified as one of the superfoods. You can, once they get up and get going good, you can come in here and clip them off, like say right here, and you can eat the tops on them, and you don't hurt the bulbs. The bulbs will keep right on multiplying. That's the beauty of these. These are a perennial. They're I call them a come and go. You know, you can harvest them, and they just keep on multiplying. I mean, to me, that's just one of the beauties of growing these type of onions. Well, we're at the point now where we're watering the bed. Now, you can't overwater the onions. Don't worry about that. Just water them in really, really good, because in this intense heat we're having, you want to make sure you get plenty of moisture to these onions. We'll do this morning, and then late this evening we'll come back and we'll do it again, and we'll do this for several days until we see these onions have grabbed root and actually taken hold. And guys, as long as it ain't raining, we're gonna have to keep watering these babies, because onions, you have to understand, they are heavy. When I say heavy, I mean heavy nitrogen feeders and water. Now, these particular onions are not, like I've said before, these are not bulbing onions. You don't pull no dirt away from them or anything like that. These onions are really good, like if you like sauteed onions in your, like in omelets or eggs in the morning for breakfast or anything to that nature. These are cut and go onions. You can cut them and they just keep coming back. They grow all through the summer, except for around in the deep south where we live at. They stop growing early June, and then they go into what we call a dying mode, and they die back from early June. Now, this is in zone 8 on the Gulf Coast down here. They die back, and then around the 1st of July, they start coming back out, regrowing again. So this is the time frame we're in now. Today is the 17th of July. We are trying to get them. We're a little late because everything's just been piling in here on us trying to get it done. We're just about a week or so late getting this done, because you see how pretty and green they are. They've started their regrowing process. We should have actually done this about a week ago, but it'll still work. You don't have to worry. They will actually, hopefully here in the next week or two, these things will look literally beautiful. See, we're going back over rewatering where we already watered, because this ground was like powder, guys. It was really, really dry. And it takes a lot of water to actually re-wet the soil back to a point where it's wet like 6 or 8 inches deep down there, where those roots on these onions can actually start growing again. And the water also activates the fertilizer. It kind of starts it into its process of being able to be utilized by the plants. Now, you want to make sure you check your pH, because onions needs a pretty neutral pH. They don't need to be acidy. Our beds are always checked pretty regularly to see how the pH is in it. I'm sitting here looking at that. The water almost looks blue coming out of that. That's amazing. But anyway, guys, we thought we'd bring this to you and show you how we do our multiplying onions. Guys, we appreciate you watching. Please share these videos with other people. Hit the thumbs up button, and YouTube will do it for us. If you're not a subscribe to us, then subscribe, so that and hit that notification bell, so that every time we put these type videos up, you're getting your notification to see how we're doing things here at the Deep South. Thank you, guys, from Deep South Homestead.
So my Ranger got a new toy. Kimimoto, and yes, already dusty and dirty, but Kimimoto sent me a little side pouch for the Ranger. It is coming in handy, y'all, because it doesn't get wet. It's waterproof, easy open, and it has a seal around it here where the water doesn't get in, and it's got a lip here where that fits. It's great, and it's pretty good size storage. Right now I have my clippers, because when I go around and I see a bush that's hanging over somewhere, I always clip it. I've got gloves. I know somebody asked me about what kind of gloves I like. These come in handy when I'm pulling weeds and stuff. They come in really, really handy. When we were picking figs, I had to have on rubber gloves to keep the fig juice off my hands. This is a pull chain thing for locking it that comes with it. I have my black light. We don't have any tomatoes right now, but I do have the black light in here in case. I have an extra battery right now in here. And then other things will get added in there if we need it. But Kimimoto, a great little thing. See the 3 prongs that fit in the holes here? That's it. That easy to, and it doesn't come off. It stores here. It's right beside the driver's side. Thank you, Kimimoto. They also make one that fits on the other side or on the back if you would like to check them out.